After 100 years of seclusion cultivation, Yi Chen's cultivation base did not break through, but his body became immortal and indestructible. However, the moment he broke through the mountain, he fell into complete silence. The reason was because he had 3 disciples. The first disciple became the Empress, commanding tens of thousands of cultivators to organize the ritual sacrifice. The second disciple was a notorious bloodthirsty assassin. As long as you paid him, he would work for you, his hands stained with blood. The third disciple was a lone ranger, able to control thousands of puppets with a slight movement of his finger. Yi Chen, who had secluded himself for hundreds of years, was also shocked to discover that his name had spread across the continent, and he had become the demon supreme, causing everyone to tremble in fear at the mention of his name. Let's start following this story together. On a moonlit night, in a forest, 2 sisters were being chased and seriously injured. These 2 belonged to the White Flower Sect, the elder sister named by Qing'er and the younger sister named by Xiaohe. Although their injuries were not severe, they had exhausted themselves from running for quite some time. And now, the group of people in black attire has caught up to them, and fear this encounter may bring more harm than good. A woman leading the group in black speaks up, you've offended the empresses and now you want to run away. Despite committing such a grave crime against fate, you should obediently raise your hands to be tied. Xiaohe interjects loudly, what nonsense about fate. It's truly absurd. We were just attending the ritual of the Wuji sect. We saw you using the ritual to worship someone, and we were just curious why we were hunted down like this. Does the Wuji sect see human lives as worthless? Clearly, it's the demonic sect. The woman with purple hair glares and questions. Just curious about something, you say? Do you know who the person you asked about is the Empress's master? The 2 sisters from the White Flower Sect are shocked and astonished, exclaiming, the Empress's master? Could it be? Indeed, it is the legendary Demon Supreme. He is not only the Empress's master but also the master of the Poison Supreme from the southern region. Moreover, the bloodthirsty king of assassins from city also received his guidance. You dare to blame Demon Supreme for being swallowed by fate? The fact that the empresses spared your sect's lives is already quite merciful. Whether you believe it or not in your next life, you better watch your words, she said while drawing her sword and charging towards the 2 girls from the White Flower Sect. The elder sister hastily stepped forward to intercept and urged her younger sister to flee. Suddenly, a strange phenomenon appeared in the sky. From amidst the clouds, a bolt of heavenly lightning struck directly into the midst of the group preparing to brawl, sending them flying. Qing'er exclaimed in astonishment, what just happened? Did the earth dragon react? Not yet done. The woman with purple hair looked up at the sky, noticing a powerful vortex forming directly above the mountain peak, accompanied by continuous lightning strikes, gale-force winds reaching. From the center of the vortex emerged a mysterious man, none other than Yi Chen, the head of the Xianji sect. After exiting seclusion, Yi Chen sensed his own body and felt somewhat disappointed that there had been no breakthrough in his cultivation realm despite 100 years of seclusion. But it seemed that his body had been sanctified instead. Yi Chen could now be considered immortal and indestructible. In a way, it could be deemed a successful exit. However, to truly test his power, he needed to demonstrate his strength. Yi Chen swung his arm, unleashing a powerful strike that split the sea and sent rocks and earth flying, catching the opposing group off guard. Not knowing if anyone was nearby, Yi Chen continued to unleash his strikes, causing significant destruction to the surrounding terrain and landscape, injuring the opposing group in the process. Coincidentally, the 2 disciples of the White Flower Sect emerged unscathed, leading the woman with purple hair to suspect that an expert from the opposing faction was intervening. She quickly decided, damn it. If the enemy has an expert assisting them, we must report back to the sect leader and retreat immediately. After testing his technique, Yi Chen felt satisfied with the power he wielded. The strength of his sanctified body was indeed extraordinary. Hearing voices nearby, Yi Chen suddenly became aware of 2 young women sitting amidst the rubble. Startled, Yi Chen wondered if someone had been injured when he had tested his technique on the mountain just now. He panicked, realizing that he hadn't been paying attention at all. Could he have inadvertently harmed someone? But looking at their composed demeanor, it seemed they were unharmed. He needed to confirm this quickly. Yi Chen hurriedly flew down to where the two sisters were. Xiao He, noticing him, became apprehensive. "Sister, that person is coming over here," she warned. Yi Chen, still unfamiliar with the newfound strength of his sanctified body, landed heavily, causing the ground to crack and generate strong force that almost blew the two girls away. The mountain, after enduring his impact, broke in half. After listening to the sister's story, Yi Chen finally understood the situation. "So that's it. You were only asking a question, and yet you were hunted down by the Wuji sect," he mused. The two girls nodded vigorously. Wuji sect, huh? That name sounds quite impressive, almost on par with Xianji sects. And the Empress's title you mentioned is quite domineering indeed. However, being domineering doesn't justify indiscriminate killings due to linguistic errors, Yi Chen remarked. "If our disciple Wan Yener were here, she would never allow this to happen," Xiao He agreed. "Indeed, Senior is an expert, and his disciple must have excellent moral character. Isn't that right, sister?" Qing'er, upon hearing the name Wan Yener, suddenly became hesitant. Yes," she murmured. Yi Chen turned away. "Good. If you're both all right, then I won't linger any longer. Take care of yourselves. I have matters to attend to. Farewell," he said before leaping into the air and flying away with the wind. Xiao He watched him with admiration. Wow, an expert is truly an expert. He disappeared in an instant. Indeed, we could become formidable like that someday, right, sister? Qing'er, now trembling with fear, couldn't control her body and collapsed to the ground, mumbling, "Wan Yener," he said his disciple is Wan Yener. Xiao He, who had forgotten for a moment, exclaimed, "Oh right, the Empress is hunting us, her name is Wan Yener." At that moment, Yi Chen was flying, curious about how his disciples had grown up by now. However, he was completely unaware that he was the legendary demon supreme, returning to 100 years ago, before Yi Chen entered, before he began his seclusion. At that time, Yi Chen had just defeated all his enemies single-handedly before deciding to enter seclusion for cultivation. Wan Yener was still young then, and upon hearing that her master was about to enter seclusion, she felt saddened. "Master, are you really going to leave us alone for seclusion?" she asked. Yi Chen chuckled and reassured her. "Don't worry, I've already eliminated all the rebels. 100 years from now, no one will dare to easily invade our Xianji sect anymore. There's no need for anyone to be afraid." Tearfully, Wan Yener pleaded, "Please don't go, master. Your disciple doesn't want you to leave." Yi Chen shouted loudly, "Enough. I've taught you all my skills precisely so that you can live your lives in peace in the future. But the master cannot always protect you forever, understand? Throughout the Xianji sect, following orders, starting from today, every disciple of our sect must focus on training. We entrust you with a mission. During the 100 years of my seclusion, you must uplift the sect, back to the present." Yi Chen is flying towards the location of the old Xianji sect. While flying, he admires the scenery below, everything makes him very pleased. In just a short 100 years, the spiritual veins of the sect have been restored, quite interesting. Let's go down and see. When Yi Chen lands, everyone around looks at him with fear. Wherever he goes, all eyes are focused on him, no one hides their expressions of fear. Yi Chen looks at the houses in the streets and alleys, even outside the sect, everything is prosperous like this, not bad at all. Let the disciples train, indeed a wise choice. Suddenly, there is a stall that catches Yi Chen's attention, a stall specializing in selling wooden statues and toys. He didn't expect this type of goods to still be sold now. He advances and picks up a statue, reminiscing about the past. Previously, what was sold were all heaven-defying pills and body-exploding pills. It seems that things are getting better and better nowadays. Suddenly, He looks at the wooden statue and notices why the face of this wooden figure seems familiar. He quickly asks the shopkeeper, "Excuse me, shopkeeper, can you tell me if this wooden figure was made in the likeness of any great deity?" The shopkeeper, upon seeing Yi Chen's face, becomes extremely panicked, quickly packs up and closes the shop. "Our shop is small, please forgive us. Furthermore, raising your head 3 inches is to face the divine. Please turn back quickly." Yi Chen doesn't understand what's happening. Why is the shopkeeper suddenly so panicked? However, following the shopkeeper's words, he involuntarily looks up, only to unexpectedly discover a large statue that bears a striking resemblance to himself. The strange thing is that the statue is engraved with the words, "Wuji Sect." Isn't this place Xianji Sect? Suddenly, Yi Chen remembers the words of the little girl earlier. Could this be the Wuji Sect? Suddenly, a man leads a group of women and accuses, this pirate intentionally dresses like the deity statue, and not only that, he also robs the shop, causing the innocent to close their doors and not dare to go out. A woman steps forward and scolds, "How dare you be so arrogant in broad daylight, you dog! Why don't you just die?" Yi Chen is bewildered. What? How can it be considered arrogant when I'm wearing my own clothes? I still want to ask you, what's going on with that statue? And where is my Xianji Sect? Before he can finish his sentence, the group of women rushes forward with red chains to surround Yi Chen, then quickly employs the golden lock formation to bind him with chains. Yi Chen sighs and easily breaks free from the women's control. "Listen to me carefully," causing the women to sweat nervously. What? Her Majesty's golden lock formation was broken in the blink of an eye. Only Her Majesty can break it. Could it be that he is? As if understanding each other's thoughts, the group of women signaled to each other, then collectively left their clothes behind. Yi Chen quickly covered his eyes with his hand. "These low-talented tricks have no effect on me, so stop it." Yi Chen seemed to resist, but it was insignificant. The women appeared to be undressing completely, but in fact, they put on white clothes instead. Then they took out fireworks to celebrate, forming 2 neat rows and bowing their heads to perform the ritual. "Welcome back, Yi Chen, to the Wuji Sect." While Yi Chen was still confused, the women approached him and led him to the stargazing tower. "You are the one who created the golden lock formation, aren't you?" one asked. "Yes, but..." Before Yi Chen could continue, another woman interjected, "Please come with us to the stargazing tower. Her Majesty is waiting for you there." Yi Chen was bewildered. Her Majesty? Who is she? Why is she waiting for me? What is the meaning of all this? "All will be clear once we arrive," the woman replied cryptically. Then Yi Chen was led to the grand hall of the stargazing tower, where in the center, behind a red curtain, sat a figure. The person inside spoke out, "Are you the one who broke the golden lock formation?" Yi Chen replied, "Yes, I am Yi Chen, the head of the Xianji sect. I've come here to seek guidance. Why has our sect..." Before he could finish, a woman flew out from behind the curtain, and it was the Empress's Luan Yener. She was overjoyed. "After 100 years, I finally get to see my master again." "Master, Yen Er missed you so much." Yi Chen was extremely surprised. "Little girl, you were so naughty and now you're a grown-up warrior." "Wait, let me go first," Luan Yener insisted, clinging tightly to Yi Chen. "No, I won't let you go that easily after waiting for your exit. Whatever you say this time, you won't leave without me. Even if we die, we'll be buried together," she continued, sitting on top of Yi Chen. Yi Chen panicked. "Don't talk about death so casually. First, get off me." Luan Yener pulled down her master's robe, saying, "You've come this far and you still pretend to be foolish. Your heart is truly wicked and detestable. But it's also good because the more you act like this, the happier Yen Er will be." She raised her hands to the sky, twirling them to perform the exquisite skill, the broken gate of 9 twirls, immediately using pieces of cloth to ensnare and control Yi Chen. Yi Chen was astonished. This was the broken gate of 9 twirls, the ultimate technique he taught Yen Er before his seclusion. Could she really be Yen Er? Master, over the years, Yen Er has mastered all the techniques you taught. Disciple diligently practiced in anticipation of our reunion today, Yen Er said softly, pulling the cloth wrapped around her master's neck closer. After today, you and I can deepen our bond even more, Yen Er continued, standing up and drawing a golden dagger. And continued, but before that, Master must give Yen Er a small assurance. I know you are very exceptional, but the human body is not invincible. Just by severing these legs, you won't be able to go anywhere. Yen Er glared and swung the dagger to chop off Yi Chen's leg. Don't be afraid, enduring a little pain now will bring eternal happiness later, she said as the blade touched Yi Chen's leg, but inexplicably couldn't cut through, with sparks flying. Yen Er exclaimed, what just happened? Couldn't cut through. This is impossible. This is an extremely sharp dagger, it must be because I used too little force. She held the dagger with both hands high again. Ha ha ha, now I'll make it happen, she laughed. Yi Chen calmly spoke up, this is not achieving the absolute goal, indeed Yen Er's way. My disciple has progressed so much, how can the master not progress? Yi Chen waved his hand, shooting out a huge fire stream to burn all the bonds. Even after 100 years, Yen Er will always be my beloved in my heart. Displaying a tough demeanor for less than 5 seconds, Yi Chen had to switch to a bewildered expression because he had just exerted a bit too much force, forgetting to control his power and directly burned Yen Er's clothes. Upon hearing these words, Yen Er suddenly became melancholic. Master, do you really think so? But Yi Chen was too preoccupied with his injuries caused by Yen Er's previous actions, spraying blood from his nose. Yi Chen rubbed his eyes and waved his hand, it's true, Master hasn't changed. Hurry up and change into some clean clothes, liar. Master said 100 years of affection, a steadfast heart. But didn't even mention our promise. You've clearly forgotten everything, Yen Er accused, prompting Yi Chen to hastily search through his memories. 100 years ago, while teaching Yen Er the techniques, Yi Chen accidentally used the destruction style too forcefully, blowing off Yen Er's clothes just like now. Yen Er cried bitterly, Master is a deceiver. You said this formation couldn't be broken, but in the end, Yen Er still got hurt. Yen Er's face and nose are all dirty now, I can't marry her off anymore, Yi Chen comforted. Who said that? In this world, strength is beauty. Yen Er is still young, how can she not be beautiful when she can drive away this black bear demon? The mysterious lady, why would she be afraid of not being able to marry off? Master wants to be with Yen Er forever, Yen Er questioned, Master wants to be with Yen Er forever, yeah, has Master ever deceived Yen Er? You promised, Yen Er and Master. And everyone in the sect will always be together, they interlocked hands as they made promises to each other. However, Yen Er didn't hear the part Yi Chen said afterward, only catching, Yen Er and Master will always be together. Yi Chen remembered and hugged Yen Er tightly. Yen Er has never changed either. Master has come too late. Yen Er pouted, gazing at Yi Chen before hugging him tightly. Master, why did you only come back now? Then Yen Er recounted the significant events of the past 100 years to Yi Chen. After hearing the story, Yi Chen finally understood. So that's how it is. No wonder you changed the name of the sect, to escape the pursuit of evil beings. It's been really tough. As long as Master is back, everything is small, yes, if you have returned, does the promise to Yen Er count? Yi Chen thought Yen Er was referring to the promise to always stay with the sect. Rest assured, Master won't go back on his word, Yen Er exclaimed in surprise, oh, Master agreed? Isn't this like an engagement? If it's about keeping a promise, that's the most important thing, Yen Er exclaimed excitedly, yes, Master, rest assured, I'll immediately find someone to choose an auspicious day. Yen Er wanted to find someone to select an auspicious day for the marriage ritual, but Yi Chen understood it as choosing a day to meet everyone in the sect, so choosing a good day for the meeting also made sense. Suddenly, someone arrived to report, "Your Majesty, the scouts from the Fenghua team have come to report. The Heavenly Book has awakened, and the major sects are heading towards Tianshu City." Yi Chen suddenly remembered, the Heavenly Book. Could it be that I forgot to bring it before my seclusion? Yen Er regained her composure and immediately ordered, "The Heavenly Book originally belongs to our sect. Now, Yi Chen, it's only natural for you to respond." "Messenger, go to the mainland and bring back the Heavenly Book," Yi Chen interjected. "Hold on, let me go fetch it." His expression betrayed concern, perhaps worried about the contents of the Heavenly Book being exposed. Could it contain some sensitive information? At this moment, the atmosphere in Tianshu City was bustling. The messenger, running and shouting, exclaimed, "Special news, special news. The time has come after 3 years. The battle for the Heavenly Book's ownership has begun. The Ting Chao sect is participating in the battle, claiming they will surely win. Will today's battle for the Heavenly Book's ownership mark the end, or will it raise more questions? Do you need a copy of the Tianshu newspaper, esteemed cultivator?" "Thank you, but I don't need it," Yi Chen replied. He looked around and sighed, "So Tianshu City is the former Six Forest from 100 years ago. The changes here are truly immense. It's been just 100 years, yet everything seems unrecognizable. I can't find the old paths at all." Suddenly, the paper crane tucked in his robe spoke up, with little Yen Er in hand, "Traveling across the mainland poses no worries. Please turn right at the next intersection. Yen Er, you mentioned there would be someone to meet us here. I'll get my belongings, there's no need for anyone to come and fetch us, right?" Yi Chen inquired. The paper crane responded, "All right, I'll explain the arrangements to Master. During your seclusion, the Heavenly Book was temporarily kept here in this city, leading to numerous disputes. At that time, Xianji's sect was extremely small and helpless, unable to retrieve the Heavenly Book. Yen Er came up with a plan, spreading curiosity about the Heavenly Book far and wide, causing cultivators from all over the world to fight over it. While this dispersed the attention of other factions in the martial world away from our sect, it also prevented evil forces from seizing the Heavenly Book's secrets." Yi Chen was quite surprised by Yen Er's handling of the situation. He packed up his belongings and went fishing, admiring Yen Er's meticulousness. "She has truly grown up," he thought. "We've arrived at our destination. The contact person is ahead, and there's a letter left for you," the paper crane informed him. "Oh," Yen Er left further instructions. Yi Chen asked, the paper crane replied, "Master, you don't need to worry. The contact person is a secret agent from the time of the Xianji sect. Our sect's contact code remains unchanged. You can trust them." Satisfied, Yi Chen said, "You're still meticulous, Yen Er. You've worked hard," the paper crane continued. "Furthermore, after retrieving the Heavenly Book, Master must return immediately. Also, you must not look at other women while outside. Just thinking about this matter already infuriates your disciple." With that said, the paper crane's eyes lit up, then it burst into flames and turned to ashes. "She thinks too much like a child. Master wouldn't have time for such things," Yi Chen chuckled. Suddenly, Yi Chen noticed a fortune teller nearby. He suspected that this person might be his contact. Yi Chen approached and greeted, "Excuse me, may I ask for your esteemed name?" Seeing the customer, the fortune teller immediately stopped eating, grabbed the signboard, and introduced herself, "I am Xiao Qiao Qiao, and the one who inquired is Xiao Yentian. A mediocre person with a little knowledge of divination can perform in heaven and earth, whether it's seeking relationships or assessing potential, I will surely provide an answer." Then suddenly, Xiao Qiao whispered to herself, "There's also the task of finding lost items." Upon hearing this, Yi Chen secretly thought, finding lost items? Is she referring to the Heavenly Book? She must be the contact that Yen Er arranged for me. However, to be sure, I should still read the correct code. Yi Chen subtly said, "The king of heaven overpowers the tiger of earth." Xiao Qiao looked puzzled. "What, are you stupid?" The response matched the sect's code. However, Xiao Qiao was not actually the intended contact. She had accidentally matched the code, leading Yi Chen to a mistaken assumption. Xiao Qiao waved her hand, "Just go, don't interfere with my business." She thought to herself, "Another fool, such a waste of good looks." Meanwhile, Yi Chen mistakenly thought she was highly professional, so he stepped back to make way. After probing several times, he responded, "If you are not a member of the same family, do not enter the door of the house." Xiao Qiao slammed the table. "What's going on? Who said we're from the same household? Who are you calling a fool? If you're sick, go to the doctors, don't cause trouble here." Yi Chen placed his hand on Xiao Qiao's shoulder and gently pushed her back into her seat, then confessed directly, "I've revealed my hand, I've indeed come to retrieve a lost item." Suddenly, Xiao Qiao felt a strange sensation coursing through her body, a sudden surge of heat, and a deep inner strength. In that moment of contact, her inner elixir, dormant for 10 years, stirred fiercely, causing her inner elixir of heaven and earth to react in such a way. There was no mistaking it, this person was predetermined to be her destined duel. Yi Chen was surprised. "Why does your complexion look so pale?" He showed concern because he still thought this person was associated with Yen Air, so he treated her with the ritual. Suddenly, Xiao Qiao grabbed Yi Chen's hand and placed it on her chest, saying, "Exactly, exactly, exactly, the king of heaven overpowers the tiger of earth. I'm the fool you've been waiting for. You're here to find the lost item, right? I'll take you there, there's no time to waste. Please come this way." As Yi Chen was being pulled away by the young woman, someone popped their head out and looked around. "Wait, isn't the Empress's command for me to wait here? Where's her companion?" Meanwhile, in the bustling Tian Shu assembly, the heavenly book lay atop the martial arts platform. Two renowned martial artists were battling it out, drawing the attention of the spectators. They were discussing, "Oh, that's the sect master of the Ting Chao sect, Wei Tianheng. His strength is not to be underestimated. Could it be that he will actually seize the heavenly book?" Yi Chen had been led by Xiao Qiao to the site of the grand assembly. "Oh my, why are there so many people?" he exclaimed. "Well, of course, let's see if the item you're looking for is on the stage or not," she replied. "You, cultivator, I see that your strength is not ordinary. Is it because of the heavenly book?" Xiao Qiao continued. "It is rumored that whoever obtains the heavenly book will control the entire mainland. Which young hero wouldn't want to become the master of a region? This can be explained, but to awaken the heavenly book, besides having a great predestined fate, one must also obtain the consent of the city lord of Tian Shu City. That's why the battles on the stage never cease. However, from what I see, you and the sect master of the Ting Chao sect are not much different in strength. If you want to obtain the heavenly book, I can help you once, as long as you become destined duel with me," she offered, turning back only to find Yi Chen gone. Suddenly, everyone was in commotion. Something flew out. "Look ahead, someone's on the stage." It turned out that Yi Chen had flown ahead and was advancing toward the martial arts platform. Xiao Qiao worriedly asked, "What are you planning to do? Even if you're just Wei Tianheng, you still can't provoke anyone, not even City Lord Zhang Zisheng," a voice warned. As the two were fighting, they suddenly noticed someone attempting to steal the heavenly book and immediately stopped to attack Yi Chen. Yi Chen, intending to seize the opportunity before causing a big commotion, quickly grabbed the book and tried to leave. However, a loud curse interrupted him. "You shameless scoundrel, trying to take advantage of chaos to steal my saber. Are you seeking death?" Xiao Qiao, too scared to watch, covered her eyes and muttered, "It's over, now, let's talk about the formidable figure charging toward Yi Chen. We need to go back 100 years. To the time when Xianji's sect was defeated, and civil war broke out across the mainland. The Ting Chao sect, originally weak, had a genius who excelled in martial arts and skills, undefeated in battles across the land. That genius was Wei Tianheng. Enraged, Wei Tianheng attacked Yi Chen, shouting, "Get out of here." Unable to contain his anger, he unleashed his ultimate technique, the fifth style of the Punch of Disintegration. Although it's called the Punch of Disintegration, it actually caused a large explosion similar to the fire style. In reality, he did so to scare the opponent. Wei Tianheng is truly outstanding, and the power of his techniques is as formidable as ever. Who else dares to step onto the stage to compete for the heavenly book? Xiao Qiao sighed, this time, it's troublesome. Wei Tianheng is narrow-minded. If this kid crosses him, it's really bad luck. He won't easily let it go. I have to hurry up and save him. On the stage, Yi Chen's "Hey there" directly caught Wei Tianheng off guard. Yi Chen, without any anger, cheerfully replied, "Is this greeting style trending nowadays?" Wei Tianheng was puzzled. How could he block one of my moves? Who is this kid, after all? His opponent chimed in, "Wei Tianheng, don't blame me for not warning you. Anyone who competes for the heavenly book must have some skills. I advise you to give it your all, or else old age will make it difficult for you to hold on." Wei Tianheng chuckled, "Haha, you want me to go all out? So it seems I have to meet the underworld." He raised his internal energy, channeling it into his hands, and then charged straight towards Yi Chen, unleashing the Punch of Disintegration second style, aiming directly at Yi Chen. Yi Chen easily dodged it. "Haha, not bad to be able to block my second Punch of Disintegration. You're quite potential," Wei Tianheng said. "Let me tell you something good. The Punch of Disintegration I've created isn't just about using fists." As he spoke, Wei Tianheng kneed Yi Chen and sent him flying into the air. The audience below was astonished. What? Wei Tianheng has advanced the Punch of Disintegration. Previously, it was just a fist technique. But now he's incorporating kicks as well. Although Yi Chen took a powerful knee strike, he showed no signs of faltering, his face still composed. Indeed, the Heavenly Book Tournament is similar to martial arts competitions. Maybe I should participate and improve our sect's reputation by winning the Heavenly Book. It might be beneficial to take part in the customs of the tournament and then take the Heavenly Book afterward. It could also help improve our sect's image. Lost in thought, Yi Chen failed to notice Wei Tianheng closing in on him. Suddenly, Wei Tianheng sprang towards him, his muscles tensed, eyes fierce, arms crossed, and then he used both his arms and legs to strike Yi Chen down to the ground. However, Yi Chen managed to land on his feet without falling, albeit feeling the force heavily impacting his legs. Wow, that was really close. I hope my shoes aren't damaged, he thought. Wei Tianheng, relentless, descended from above with a speed of 300 km per hour, using the Punch of Disintegration second style to directly press Yi Chen's head into the ground. Admiring your courage to step onto the stage, I'll reward you with one more style before sending you to the underworld. Wei Tianheng declared. With a high kick, he then executed the Punch of Disintegration first style, stomping heavily on Yi Chen, causing the ground to tremble violently. Afterward, Wei Tianheng gracefully stepped back, satisfied with himself. "Ha ha ha, Zi Sheng, this time no one will bother us anymore. Let's talk about the Heavenly Book. Once you nod your head, my Ting Chao sect will possess the Heavenly Book." Zi Sheng, witnessing the shocking scene, immediately warned Tianheng, "Wei, watch out behind you." Turning back, Wei Tianheng saw Yi Chen rushing towards him, seemingly preparing to throw a decisive punch. However, Yi Chen suddenly smiled, opting not to punch but lightly flicked his forehead instead. Despite its seemingly gentle nature, this flick caused a significant dent in Tianheng's forehead, sending him flying backward with a gush of blood from his nose. Tianheng lay amidst the debris, unable to muster any resistance. Yi Chen calmly stated, "Allow me to enlighten you, I must take the Heavenly Book with me." Witnesses to the spectacle were left in chaos, murmuring among themselves. What just happened? A flick to the forehead and Wei Tianheng is defeated like that? Who is this person after all? Does anyone know? Taking the heavenly book seems justified, there's no arguing that. Wei Tianheng opened his eyes and glared at Zhang Zixing, then bellowed, Zhang Zixing, how long do you want to watch this play? Don't forget what you begged for. Only my Ting Chao sect can fulfill your request. Zixing chuckled softly, haha, Wei, do you find it difficult to admit your own inferiority? These words directly provoked Tianheng, triggering echoes of distant memories in his mind. Inferiority, Wei Tianheng, do you understand? It's because of your inferiority that your loved ones perished. Wei Tianheng became agitated, retrieving a murky pearl from within him and swallowing it. His power suddenly surged, transforming him into what seemed like a demonic entity. Inferiority is you, he growled menacingly. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered in the sky, casting a shadow over the area. A large vortex appeared above Tianheng's head. Zhang Zixing exclaimed in alarm, Wei Tianheng. Have you gone mad? In an attempt to ward off Tianheng's attack, Zixing hastily activated his internal energy protection. Onlookers murmured amongst themselves, oh my, look at that. Zhang Zixing is still fighting back. Does he intend to join the battle? This year's Heavenly Book Grand Conference is indeed captivating. Little did they know that disaster was looming on the horizon. Suddenly, spots of light appeared in the sky, captivating the attention of many bystanders. A bright orb landed on the chest of a young woman, then ignited and exploded, sending everyone into a panic. The girl clutched her chest and fled along with the others. Qiao Qiao, running in fear like the rest, muttered curses under her breath, that old bastard Wei Tianheng. Turns out, this murky pearl here can trigger thunder. After a scent drifts 100 miles, everything around will be burnt to ashes. He is definitely dead. Meanwhile, Yichen wiped away blood from his face, not his own but from Zhang Zixing. He gently removed the thunder, which was stuck to his body. Thunder, huh? Seems a bit troublesome, doesn't it? Zhang Zixing was utterly bewildered by Yi Chen's seemingly simple action, which made him question his own existence. What do you mean, thunder? Just a light touch has already peeled my skin away. But this kid only needs to wave lightly to unleash thunder, Yi Chen lamented as he examined his burnt coat. Well, it's not a big deal. I'll just eradicate the grass at its roots. He looked up at the massive murky pearl in the sky, continuously summoning thunder to strike the ground. Just as he was about to intervene and destroy the murky pearl, something large and round flew straight towards Yi Chen's face. It was Qiao Qiao. She hurriedly embraced him tightly and tried to stop him. You can't die here. What heroism are you trying to display? In the end, it's still up to me to save you. Suddenly, a bolt of thunder struck Qiao Qiao's head directly. Was this a rescue or a disaster? As danger loomed, Qiao Qiao suddenly remembered the words of the Buddha statue, Xiao Qiao Qiao, your time is running out. If you can't do it, you already know the consequences. It was precisely for this reason that Qiao Qiao disregarded the danger and rushed to embrace Yi Chen tightly, pressing his chest against her face. Yi Chen couldn't understand why suddenly everything went dark and he couldn't see anything, coupled with symptoms of difficulty breathing. Then, Qiao Qiao withdrew a teleportation talisman from her chest and threw it directly at Yi Chen's head. Yi Chen, bewildered, exclaimed, Am I a zombie to have a talisman stuck on my head like this? Qiao Qiao reminded him, Don't move. This is a one-time use teleportation talisman. I only have 3 left. The heavenly book, no matter how valuable, is not as precious as life and money. As she spoke, Qiao Qiao added another teleportation talisman to her forehead, but unfortunately, it was damaged by a bolt of thunder. Well, it's broken. The talisman is burned, so we can't leave anymore, she sighed, resigned to fate. Yi Chen removed the talisman from her forehead and embraced her. You really are silly. Who hired you to save me? Who? Suddenly, a powerful bolt of thunder struck them directly, causing a massive explosion. Wei Tianheng, standing above, heard the cries for help from the people below and felt immensely pleased. He suddenly burst into laughter. Haha, it's done. I can control the thunder. The heavenly book will be mine. You all are inferior to me. As he laughed joyfully, a stone hit him on the head from below, causing him to glare down to see who had the audacity. Emerging from the dust was Yi Chen along with Qiao Qiao. Despite being struck by a full-force thunder, they remained unscathed. Yi Chen stood there calmly and remarked, Wei Tianheng, you are indeed quite powerful. Controlling thunder is not something a mortal can do easily. Is this what you desired? Qiao Qiao had fainted after bearing the impact of the explosion. Luckily, Yi Chen shielded her, preventing serious injuries. However, her clothes were torn, and her glasses were lost in the chaos. Yi Chen gazed up at Wei Tianheng and continued, Can you hear the cries of these people? Is a mere heavenly book worth disregarding human lives like worthless weeds? Wei Tianheng, of course, was not easily swayed. He became furious instead. Victory makes kings, defeat brings disgrace. Those who eat a lot don't appreciate it, and those who preach morality often live like pigs. Shut your mouth quickly. As he spoke, he sealed a gesture and manipulated the thunder towards Yi Chen. However, before the thunder could strike, Yi Chen punched him straight in the face, causing blood to spurt from his mouth. Fine, I won't bother reasoning with you anymore. I'll reveal it now, Yi Chen declared as he took out the heavenly book. The heavenly book is rightfully mine. You thought you could steal it from me? Not that easy. Yi Chen infused his spiritual energy into the heavenly book, causing it to break its seal, emitting a dazzling golden light. It transformed into a massive scroll, about 100 meters long. The creatures within the book flew out and frolicked around Yi Chen as if they were playful puppies reuniting with their owner after a long time. Yi Chen fondly petted them, saying, Long time no see, my old friends. But I need a little help from you now. Yi Chen wielded the heavenly book, swirling it wildly, and from within, emerald spiritual energy shot out in all directions, showering down upon the cultivators below. They felt the thunder cease and were healed by the spiritual energy, their injuries miraculously cured. Broken bones mended, and even Zhang Zisheng, whose arm was severed moments ago, now recovered as if nothing had happened. Oh heavens, my leg is healed. Could this be a blessing from above? Zhang Zisheng marveled, Wei Tianheng has been defeated. And that young man is the one who obtained the heavenly book. I wonder who he is to be so dominant, the cultivators murmured in amazement as Yi Chen descended from above. Looking incredibly cool. Qiao Qiao was also being healed by the spiritual energy. Yi Chen glanced at the two gigantic watermelons on Qiao Qiao's chest and was taken aback. Why hasn't she woken up yet? Could her heart have stopped, leading her to meet her ancestors? That wouldn't be so bad. Seeing the enormous watermelons, Yi Chen instinctively reached out, but he stopped himself, realizing how absurd the situation was. He focused on saving lives first, he could contemplate later. After all, Wan Yenner was involved, and she was someone important to him. Yi Chen reached his hand into the gap between the two watermelons to feel for a heartbeat. As far as I remember, the heart should be on the left, but why can't I feel any heartbeat? He wondered aloud. Qiao Qiao, whether pretending to be unconscious or not, knew exactly what Yi Chen was doing on her body. She cursed silently, Damn it, you're making me lose face. My heart is on the right, not the left. What a disgrace. I stepped into the arena boasting about saving others, but in the end, I'm the one needing to be saved. How humiliating. Yi Chen continued to search for a heartbeat but couldn't detect any. He decided to carry her princess style. This isn't good. We need to find a secluded place to figure this out. He said. Finally, Yi Chen managed to say something that made sense to Qiao Qiao. She felt thrilled and excited, tears welling up in her eyes. Oh, a secluded place. That sounds perfect. Let's go with the flow then. Time to play along with Destiny's duel, she thought to herself as she continued to feign unconsciousness, waiting for the perfect moment to cooperate. Yi Chen was about to take a step forward with Xiao Qiao in his arms when he noticed Zhang Zixing standing behind him, looking at him with admiration. He couldn't believe that it was ultimately a young man who had obtained the heavenly book. Zhang Zixing was about to call out to Yi Chen, but suddenly someone called out to him. Another person named Zhang Zixing appeared out of nowhere and addressed him as City Lord. The newcomer then removed his disguise, revealing himself to be one of Zhang Zixing's men, who had been ordered to disguise himself as Zhang Zixing and welcome Yi Chen. Zhang Zixing was puzzled. "Didn't I tell you to go welcome the person from the Empresses? Why are you here now? And where is the other person?" The subordinate replied, "I have something to discuss with you, sir." He then whispered something into the city lord's ear, causing Zhang Zixing's expression to change suddenly. He called out urgently, "Stop right there, sir," and hurried over, breathing heavily. You. He stammered, clearly shocked by what he had just heard. He leaned into Yi Chen's ear and whispered, "Are you the Wuji demon supreme, known as the ruler of the 9 heavens and 10 abysses, invincible as a thunderbolt, roaming freely across the 4 seas, sweeping through the wilderness?" Upon hearing these words, Yi Chen immediately blushed, feeling embarrassed. "I think you've got the wrong person," he awkwardly denied. Zhang Zixing seemed to understand Yi Chen's discomfort and assured him, "You can trust me to keep your identity safe," hinting that he knew more than he let on. Yi Chen, slightly irritated, replied, "That's not what I meant." Suddenly, Zhang Zixing knelt down and bowed his head before Yi Chen. "I have long admired you," he said reverently. "Today, I finally have the honor to meet you. My name is Zhang Zixing, the son of Zhang Kong." Upon hearing the name Zhang Kong, Yi Chen's expression changed noticeably. Meanwhile, while the two were engrossed in conversation, Xiao Qiao had quietly regained consciousness. However, she remained nestled in Yi Chen's arms, enjoying the feeling of being held by a handsome man. After conversing with Zhang Zixing, he invited Yi Chen to his mansion to conveniently treat Xiao Qiao. At Zhang's mansion, the imperial physician had been summoned to attend to the patient. "Master Hui Chun is here, please come in," a servant announced. "How is the patient?" Master Hui Chun inquired. The maid replied, "It's quite embarrassing. Despite our diligent efforts, she remains unconscious." Master Hui Chun stroked his beard thoughtfully. "I've heard that this young lady is the companion of the owner of the heavenly book," he remarked. "Indeed, she sacrificed both her life and body to protect the owner of the heavenly book. That's why she was gravely injured by the Ting Chao sect. Our master is anxiously awaiting good news. Please, come in and see for yourself." The servant opened the door for the imperial physician, but to their surprise, the room was empty. Xiao Qiao was nowhere to be found. It turned out she had already fled earlier, hiding behind a nearby wall to eavesdrop on the situation. Only after the two men left to search for her did she dare to breathe a sigh of relief. Inviting Master Hui Chun as well, Zhang Zixing is truly generous. Luckily, I managed to escape in time, or else I would have been exposed. I thought playing unconscious would make that little guy come over to me, which would have been perfect for gathering more information. But all of a sudden, he turned and followed Zhang Zixing instead. He really doesn't know how to appreciate beauty. It's good that he dared to escape my scheming. What's he planning? Xiao Qiao chuckled with a sinister grin from her hiding spot. She retrieved a strange-looking talisman. "I'm not someone you can mess with so easily," she muttered. Activating the tracking talisman, wherever it went, she followed. Suddenly, it seemed to want to enter a strange house. It appeared Yi Chen was inside. Xiao Qiao smirked triumphantly. "Ah, found you. My talisman is the best, it can find anyone, even if you were to hide in another province." Placing the talisman on the door, she tried to peek inside. "Let me see what you're up to," she whispered suspiciously. "Why is there no movement? Could they be on guard?" Xiao Qiao licked her fingertip to moisten it, then pierced a hole in the door sticker with it before peering inside. Don't want me to hear, huh? Well, if that's the case, I have no other choice. I must see with my own eyes what you're up to, she muttered, as she looked inside, her eyes widened in shock at the scene unfolding before her. Two men were undressing each other in a closed room, a sight that was undeniably stimulating. Zhang Zixing was unbuttoning his shirt while Yi Chen's hand was roaming over his body. The expression on Zhang Zixing's face could easily fuel the imagination of someone as imaginative as Qiao Qiao, but in reality, he was just showing Yi Chen the mark on his right chest. Observing with his eyes and feeling with his hand, Yi Chen found the pattern of the mark somewhat familiar. It couldn't be mistaken, indeed, it was the mark of Zhang Kong's lineage. With a proud expression, Zhang Zixing explained, "This mark was carved by my father and is also a symbol of the Zhang family's inheritance. Please trust me, senior." Yi Chen smiled softly, "I still vividly remember the scene where you and your father went to war with me. In the blink of an eye, you became so big." Zhang Zixing clasped his hands together and recounted the story. "I fear there may be some things you're unaware of. 40 years ago, when father was gravely ill, he summoned me to his bedside and handed me a bundle of broken chopsticks. He then passed on the title of City Lord to me. At that time, besides his father, there was another person in the room, none other than the Poison Supreme. Wearing a black cloak, the Poison Supreme came to visit while Zhang Zixing's father, Zhang Kong, was lying in bed. You're the next City Lord, aren't you? You seem like you'll live for a long time," the Poison Supreme remarked. As a young man, Zhang Zixing humbly knelt down, clasping his hands together in reply. "I dare not. Tian Shu City was built by you, sir. I am merely taking over as City Lord in place of my father. You are indeed a well-behaved child, worthy of the affection Zhang Kong has for you. In short, besides keeping an eye on the heavenly book, I also want you to regularly report to me," the Poison Supreme instructed. "When the owner of the heavenly book finds it, tell them to come to Fu Tian Cave immediately." "Master." Zhang Zixing both described the Poison Supreme's demeanor at that time and asked Yi Chen to keep this matter secret from everyone. Basically, the appearance was so nauseating and repulsive. Yi Chen noticed the demeanor of the Poison Supreme, feeling suspicious. Zhang Zixing jumped in to explain further, "You're not wrong. That person is indeed his third disciple, Lu Yen. The Poison Supreme has been reigning over the southern mainland for a long time, serving as the overlord." Yi Chen thought to himself, "I already know. My disciples all have tremendous potential. Even if my third disciple has the lowest level of skills, they can still become a famous figure. But why Fu Tian Cave? It's not just a random mountain where I keep some old elixirs. And you're telling me to go without informing Yen Air? What excuse can I use to conceal this?" While lost in thought about what to do, Zhang Zixing suddenly called out to his senior and immediately knelt down, bowing his head. This action left Yi Chen bewildered. "Little Zhang, what are you doing?" he asked. "The position of City Lord was not supposed to be passed down to me so soon. Nonetheless, my father's lifelong wish is to personally welcome the owner of the heavenly book. Every day, he dedicates himself to cultivation. I know I shouldn't bother you with such a trivial matter, but I still seek your guidance," Zhang Zixing explained tearfully, his tears falling freely onto the ground, revealing the deep-seated anguish he had been carrying for a long time. Sensing Zhang Zixing's long-standing burden, Yi Chen reached out and gently stroked his head. "Little Zhang, your father and I have had a long-standing relationship. How could I ignore his wishes? Where is he now?" Zhang Zixing, moved, sniffled and replied, "My father is currently in a deep sleep at Kunlun Mountain. The journey there is long, but first, we should head to the place where the Poison Supreme arranged to meet." At the same time, outside, Qiao Qiao, unable to hear the contents of the conversation and with her idealistic perspective, misunderstood the situation gravely. She held her head and screamed, "You're such a pervert. I've realized that the conversation between these two is fake, but their feelings are real. That's why I let them be alone here. I've waited so long for this opportunity, and now you want to ruin it. Are you trying to make a fool out of me? Xiao Qiao's frustration became unbearable, and she kicked the door open, storming inside, startling both Yi Chen and Zhang Zisheng. Who would want to share that with a man? Don't even think about it, she exclaimed. Xiao Qiao tossed a mesmerizing bomb inside, causing a loud explosion. After it was over, Xiao Qiao entered the room. By this time, Yi Chen had fallen into unconsciousness. Xiao Qiao smiled cunningly and said, "No matter how strong you are, as long as they use my sleeping pill, you will definitely faint and fall down. And of course, I want to have your body to enjoy." Xiao Qiao was about to devour Yi Chen when suddenly the heavenly book fell from somewhere. The heavenly book opened on its own and emitted a bright light. Xiao Qiao didn't understand what was happening. Before she could react, a group of beautiful fairies flew out from within the heavenly book and wrapped Xiao Qiao in their arms. Xiao Qiao was mesmerized and intoxicated with pleasure. Ha ha ha, what is this in the heavenly book? Why is there something like this? Oh heavens, the heavenly book is coming, I'm about to ascend, she exclaimed. In reality, there were no fairies here, it was all just an illusion created by the heavenly book's enchantment. Xiao Qiao was now bound by the heavenly book, but the sensation of pleasure still spread throughout her body. Suddenly, Xiao Qiao saw purple rings appearing above her head. What are these shapes and colors? Xiao Qiao's vision became blurry as she was mesmerized by the heavenly book, causing it to release her. Xiao Qiao felt like a puppet as she stood up and approached Yi Chen, who was lying there. Then, she sat directly on Yi Chen with a seductive and sinister look. She began lifting her dress, leaving the rest to the imagination. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel to support us. Yi Chen had just been hit by a sleeping pill, but due to his strong cultivation, he gradually regained consciousness. What's this? This scent is that of the sleeping spirit pill. As he opened his eyes, he saw an object obstructing his view. But why did this object feel so strange, soft, and smooth? When the object touched Yi Chen's face, he opened his eyes wider to see that it was Xiao Qiao lying on top of him, pressing two gigantic watermelons into his face. Yi Chen immediately sat up, but Xiao Qiao still clung tightly to him, her eyes no longer lucid due to the effects of the drug. What situation is this? Yi Chen pushed Xiao Qiao away. Don't come near me like that. Let me remember what happened before I passed out. I remember you barging in and saying incomprehensible things. At that time, everyone else seemed normal. Something must have happened later. As he withdrew his hand, Xiao Qiao clung tightly to him again. Why is she hugging me again? Xiao Qiao held onto Yi Chen's shoulder with one hand, while the other hand rested on his chest, then she leaned in as if to kiss him, but in reality, she wasn't. Yi Chen realized Xiao Qiao was smelling him. Xiao Qiao continued to sniff all over Yi Chen's body, then moved closer to his lower abdomen. Yi Chen jerked upright, his face flushed with embarrassment, probably from the effects of the drug. Just as Xiao Qiao was about to deploy her ultimate technique, Yi Chen immediately used his hand to lift her chin, looking at her as if he was smiling. Xiao Qiao suddenly widened her eyes, then she grabbed Yi Chen's hand and brought it close to her mouth, starting to gently lick it with her tongue. Her gaze filled with affection, as if she wanted to be petted. Yi Chen noticed this and felt a sense of familiarity. He immediately turned to look at the heavenly book, and indeed, it had been opened. Yi Chen understood what had happened to Xiao Qiao. To test it out, Yi Chen raised a finger in front of Xiao Qiao's face, and suddenly, she became excited, focusing her gaze on the finger. Then she pounced on him and attempted to lick him, behaving like a little dog. The most difficult situation had arisen. In fact, Yi Chen secretly referred to the heavenly book as the little dirty book, containing Yi Chen's collection of treasures over the years. To avoid detection, Yi Chen had added a prohibition called, "Do not indulge," into the heavenly book. If anyone other than Yi Chen deliberately tampered with it, they would be brainwashed. How did this girl see it? But she still belongs to Yen Air. I can't just sit back and ignore her, Yi Chen sighed. This is getting too complicated. Yi Chen swung his arm, pretending to throw something away. Xiao Qiao, now with the soul of a dog, quickly looked in the direction of Yi Chen's arm to see if there was anything there, but found nothing. She then turned back, arched her back, wiggled her hips, and barked like a dog, woof woof bark. Your luck is quite good to encounter me. The principle of, do not indulge, is that the soul of a dog merges with the soul of a human. If conventional techniques were used to break through, it would only cause harm to the soul and turn one into a fool. Yi Chen forcefully pressed Xiao Qiao down to the ground with one hand, then slowly extracted the soul of the dog from within her. Now, Xiao Qiao had been cured without any damage to her soul. Before her soul was completely extracted, Xiao Qiao still tried to bark one last woof, then rolled her eyes and fell into a deep sleep, limbs sprawled, mouth gaping, and drooling. Afterward, Yi Chen used the heavenly book to heal her. This person's sleeping appearance is truly unique. It seems she has endured a lot of exhaustion. Let the heavenly book give you a beautiful dream, Yi Chen murmured. After waking up from the dream, everything will be resolved. I've helped her once, so she should also keep the secret and help me after waking up. Right? Yi Chen recalled his disciples' instructions. After obtaining the heavenly book, go quickly to Fu Tian Cave. Yi Chen sighed. Back to Fu Tian Cave again. Well, it's good. I'll take advantage of the opportunity while these two are still asleep. Then, I can avoid trouble when explaining. Yi Chen turned around to leave, but Xiao Qiao instinctively grabbed his shirt and pulled him back. Is she awake? Xiao Qiao was still in a daze, muttering and calling out to her master. Yi Chen was surprised. Xiao Qiao continued to cry and speak in her dream. Wait a moment, Xiao Qiao will behave properly. I can definitely protect you. Will you go see the Lantern Festival with me, master? Xiao Qiao doesn't want to be left alone. Yi Chen was a good person, so he couldn't bear to leave her behind. He wiped away her tears and sat down to wait. Yi Chen sighed. Let's wait until she wakes up before we go. At this point, Xiao Qiao stopped mumbling and fell into a peaceful sleep. A few hours later, Zhang Zixing finally woke up, bewildered. Why did I suddenly fall asleep? Where did my senior go?